Mr. Ball is quite happy.
He's a happy ball, is he?
He's a happy ball.
Do you know there's another one in the Albert Hall? No, I'm not sure if you got that reference.
I did.
You
Not because I only got one.
Ow!
Oh.
Git Cat has struck again. He just loves them. Anyway, yeah. News.
I don't know. Has anything happened this week? I mean,
Well, apparently Donald has only got one ball.
The other is in the Albert Hall. You see, Brown?
Oh, for goodness. That's a nice way to tie back.
Yeah, it's. I can't relax yet.
I know what you mean, yeah. I'm still seeing all the
yesterday
weird
was
stuff.
for celebrating.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
I will be
Yesterday was
happy
for
come
celebrating,
January
and
the
the rest
20th.
is-
Quite frankly.
Once he's fully in the chair, then we can relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I would just like to say, though, that I absolutely, positively need to see the Secret Service drag.
this is a
him.
yearning of yours,
Yes,
isn't it?
please.
This is a deep, burning yearning.
It's gonna be hilarious. He'll just be like, "No, I'm not leaving the office. I'm not going. And they'll just be pushing him out.
Well, the way he stands, because he sort of stands slightly that way, you could probably fit a grocery truck underneath him and wheel it.
I just hoist him.
Just push him back into the chair. It has wheels on it.
Yeah. Put a cheeseburger in front of him on a string.
On a string.
That would work.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned fish hook.
Yeah, for those of you who have been living under a rock, Trump's out.
Yay.
Ian.
I know people don't like us talking about politics, but the show's always meant to be about politics.
There is one small thing. I mean,
Is
you
this Mr.
shouldn't-
Ball again?
Yeah, you shouldn't be so bad at your job that when you lose it, eventually it looks like the final scenes in Return of the Jedi after they blow up the Death Star.
Yeah.
There was an awful lot of singing of Yub Nub online last night.
Yes,
Twitter
yes,
and-
there
and-
was. They rang the church bells in Paris.
Wow.
It was like World War II just ended.
It just shows you the world was holding its breath. Not just
It was-
They
America.
weren't the only ones.
We're actually getting
You're
sicker.
part of the world, Brian.
Why,
But you're at
Has it-
the point where this is all happening.
Brian hasn't felt like part of the world for the last 4 years. True,
Yeah,
Brian?
that's true.
Yeah, this
that's
is
fair.
true.
That needs to be reacclimatized.
I had been researching and immigrating to Mars. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, no need to worry about that now.
Elon Musk
Oh, were you going to do life on Mars?
Yes.
Sorry, bad pun.
going on a gene
yes,
hunt.
I was.
Wave.
I was going to see if Gene was up there.
Yep. So that's good news. It's just a case of waiting it out. First of all,
now
all
you have
the
to wait out
Republicans.
the temper tantrum, the lawyers.
Well,
and
you
the-
got all that. Then you got the
Gonna sue
electoral
Georgia.
college day,
Gonna sue Pennsylvania.
and
Yep.
the some Republican states are saying they won't send the people's vote winners. They'll send people just to say Trump instead.
That's illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal, yeah.
What, ignoring?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. So that's a
Yeah.
day that won't be so bad then. But like I say, 20th of January. That's when I'll breathe. Quite frankly.
Nation will breathe.
Yeah. That was fun. Look at us. We talked stuff.
America, you done well.
Yeah, well
Well
done.
done,
Now
America.
can you teach us how to get rid of ours?
Oh, yeah.
You see, when you take a... Never mind.
And now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Boom Splat. Why is it called Boom Splat? It's the noise the ship made, followed immediately by the noise Adric made.
Nice.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon, Sheila.
Too soon. Okay.
Too soon.
So anyway, the bland Doctor Who basically is having a bit of a tiff with Adric, and Adric wants to go home back into E-space to Terradon, except he wasn't really from Terradon, so that's not going to confuse things much, is it? The Doctor gets all huffy and lands in some caves, and some soldiers get turned into mulch, and it gets a little bit sort of dangerous. It's the 5-part story Earthshock, which Brian has been aching to talk about. You know about Earthshock episode 5, don't you?
I know what you mean. I know what you
It's a
mean.
DVD extra, and poor Adric.
We actually see him.
Yeah,
He survived.
he survives the crash. Let's just say that,
Yeah.
in the middle of a dinosaur-infested jungle.
Yeah.
Please tell me the clever girl got him.
It goes as well as you'd expect.
Yeah. What's up with you? Come on, you're giving me the eye there, Eddie.
So Adric survives this? You've lost me. Is there something
It's
I
a
missed?
DVD extra.
Right.
Episode 5 of Earthshock. And it's claymation.
It's simply glorious.
I'll need to look it out. I will find it
You
there.
need to look it up. You
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah,
It makes it
essentially.
even
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
Poor Adric.
I like Adric. I don't care what anybody says. I like Adric. He was the ideal companion for someone my age at the time. Though I should imagine most other people my age will probably disagree. But there we go. So come on then, boys and girls. Brian, you've been aching
Yes.
to do this for ages. Tell us about Earthshock.
Come on, Brian.
Well-
we get rid of Trump this week, and you get rid of Adric.
I know. So basically, the Cybermen have planted a bomb in a cave. Why have they planted a bomb in a cave? Nobody will know. They are inscrutable.
It is explained.
Yes, but it's a lame reason.
Really? You think so?
Yes.
Earth's on high alert. A missile wouldn't get through. So they planned
So let's put a bomb in a cave.
probably fault lines. It's probably a cobalt bomb.
No.
It makes sense to me.
Okay.
So, yes, Dominic.
It is protected
Eddie,
by two
what do you
androids.
think? Yes. That unique android look will come back again in a year's time.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
In silver.
Yeah.
There. Well,
And the Doctor blunders into it, as he is wont to do, after having a fight with a petulant teenager.
In rubber pajamas.
Both of them being petulant teenagers.
True.
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, you can really see the girls getting exasperated at this point. Like, oh dear God, just shut the hell up and just. But you just.
they do seem to be, getting on a bit frostily.
Yeah. So they're in the cave. Soldiers going looking for a crew that was down there looking at dinosaur bones, and we get the whole exposition that something crashed into the Earth 65 million years ago. Blah. Yeah. Okay.
That is Chekhov's gun.
Mm-hmm.
I know
So
stuff.
they're down there, and obligatory soldiers are dying left, right, and center.
And what a death. What a death.
They do get mulched. Pretty
Yeah.
good. That's just like.
Remember, this
don't
is
really
on at
see
7
anything.
o'clock on a weekday evening.
It was like Thursdays, wasn't it? Nobody was watching. Coronation Street was on the other side.
No, they
So what
actually did
rap-
better. The first season 19, I think it was Monday and Tuesdays it was on, did better than season 18. But
Yeah, it was the trial for
then
extenders, wasn't
they flipped it onto the Wednesday, and that was just death.
Yeah, that
Deadly
killed.
Assassin grade.
Hello,
moved it.
you Sammy.
You, Sammy, real.
Yes.
Oh, I am
that's Hearts. They were there last week.
Oh, nice.
Please
Hello.
don't say things like "is anything real." That's deeply disturbing to my mentality.
Is it the real life? Is it
Just fantasy.
just fantasy?
Oh, my giddy aunt. So, what did you make of this one? In comparison to Doctor Who?
I liked it. It wasn't bad. The Doctor definitely was acting like a petulant teenager throughout most of the
Yep.
first part of it. Adric, he is a teenager, so him acting how he was acting, kind of in character and perfectly normal. The girls acted exactly right as they should, fed up with both their shit.
Need to just let Hearts... we're talking about the Doctor Who story Earthshock. Sorry, bro. Keep going.
No, that's cool. Then they got onto the space tanker, run by some old lady that would not turn around.
Some
Beryl
old lady-
Reid?
Some old, a British legend.
Damn
Okay.
straight. She had no idea what was going on throughout that.
Yep.
She was completely lost, but I still say she was perfectly cast.
Beryl Reid was brilliant.
She was.
Yeah, exactly. She was. She had no idea what was going on and wouldn't turn around because
no idea.
she wanted her goddamn bonus. That was her bonus. They were going to stop her
Damn
from getting.
straight.
She wanted her money.
Right.
Damn straight.
Granny wanted to get paid. Damn it.
Show B the money. Show B the money. Absolutely.
Give me the dollar.
Apparently, there was a conniving first mate or second mate or second
Ringway.
mate, right? That had a bunch of Cybermen transfer onto the ship in silos, 50,000 if I'm not mistaken. Hilarity ensues.
But what did you make of it? Let's move away from the plot now. What did you actually make of the story? What did you make of it?
I liked it. It was. I guess it was supposed to be shocking for its time.
Yeah, very much so. There was 2 shocks contained within. J&T turned down a Radio Times cover for it because he wanted to keep
Yes.
the surprise of the Cybermen for the actual show. And so that was the first shock. The second shock is the end of episode 4. And no one knew a damn thing about that. It just happened. And it's just... You know?
Yeah.
I remember as well.
Context.
See
For
why
this
it
one,
happened?
context.
They tried to cover it up as well because they had Adric credited for time flight in the following.
Yeah.
following
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so. Because I don't know if they had to. If he had, an episode left on his contract or something like that. But
He probably
either
did,
way,
yeah.
it was damn useful because the Radio Times comes out on Tuesdays, and so people would have been able to see that there was no Adric listed the following week. So yeah,
Yeah.
a bit useful that was.
Quite clever.
Dom,
Very.
come on then, Dom.
And it
Oh,
was
hang on.
reused later on.
Okay.
It was reused later on with Clara, the impossible girl who dies in pretty much everything up until we
Right.
see the real one.
What was used? Sorry.
That she's listed. Surprise, she dies. But wait, she's coming back. Surprise, she dies again.
I see your point. Yeah, a bit like Rory.
Episodes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Rory the Resurrectionist.
Oh
It
goodness.
makes you wonder what Stephen Moffat has against these people.
To
Yeah.
be fair, he was dating Amy Pond, and everybody wanted to date Amy Pond.
And there it is.
Damn tooth.
17 minutes in. Oh, well, there we go.
On
Dominic,
brand.
talk to us about Earthshock.
Okay. Well,
Let us see it through your young eyes of youth.
Well, I first watched. Earthshock was one of the first serials that I saw, like when I was getting into the classic series. I think
start.
it was second or third after. Funnily enough, I started on, I believe, Mind Warp.
That's an odd one to start with.
It was on UK Gold at the time. My mum was watching it. I was just like, I'll
Fair
watch it with. But yeah, I always loved Earthshock. It was the first one I probably got out of the library, because it was like Cybermen. I like a Cybermen, and but yeah, I'd say it's probably my second or third favorite, beneath Caves of Androzani and with the Fifth Doctor somewhere around the middle. But yeah, I think it's a very strong rebirth of sorts for the Cybermen. I mean, coming off the back of their last appearance, Revenge, which wasn't terribly well received, I think that's fair to say.
Well, to be fair, there was no real fan consensus back then.
True.
I mean, I adore Revenge of the Cybermen, but it's again, I think it's time critical. That is.
It's one of those Marmite stories. It depends on who you ask. Yeah. Much like most of the Fifth Doctor's era as well, this one has a high body count, which is always quite grisly for Monday tea time. But I do, as Brian was saying, the Doctor's acting like a petulant teenager. Adric's acting like a petulant teenager. The girls are trying to keep them in order. It lends an interesting dynamic. I mean, the actors, I think they fully sell it. I think they completely sell it. Davison being all very self-righteous for himself and only really comes around near the end of the story. I mean, if they decided to take Adric back to his space, he probably wouldn't have died, but at the same time, he might still have died, so you never know. Also, believe this is David Banks' first turn as the cyber leader, is it not?
Yes.
And he is excellent.
It's the one where you can actually understand him properly.
Yes. I really love the introduction, the shock introduction of the Cybermen. Again, no one really expected it, and it was just a great way to bring them back after so many years of just non-existence, really. And as mentioned, Beryl Reid, also fantabulous, even if she didn't exactly know what she was doing. But
I just thought that was perfect casting.
Oh yeah,
they could have cast a Ripley like, no, fuck it, let's get this fussy old woman in as a captain.
Do it.
Brilliant.
Get her back.
Absolutely brilliant. And you got to remember, Beryl Reid was a big name.
Everybody's favourite auntie in Granny.
Yep.
OBE as well.
Oh.
And yeah, I'd say it has very good pace to it as well. It just keeps on going. It's got excitement. It's got good action, and I really thought it is just a very good one of the Fifth Doctor's era. I mean, I'm not the biggest Fifth Doctor fan, but I really, really enjoy that one. And with Adric as well, his death was, despite the character being very divisive, it was it's either satisfactory or sad, depending on the point of view. But you get some enjoyment from it. It makes you emote.
Either way, that's good. That's a fair way.
There is an emotional payoff to it.
Yeah.
Whether you're for him or against him, it's an emotional payoff.
It makes you feel something.
Heartless bastards.
That's perfectly put, Tom. They're perfectly put.
But yeah, I think it went out quite well. Using math, there you go. Dinosaurs, goodbye. Fantastic.
And he never found out if he was right.
He never did.
No.
Isn't that a great way to die?
Which means his ghost is going to be haunting the thing, determined to find out if it's right. It's his last task before he can move on.
Oh, my lord.
Oh, dear.
Right. I'll be back
you say
one moment. I've got to help my mum do something.
Right.
It won't be a second.
No, on you go.
Dom says about the fast pacedness of it. There's nearly twice as many shots in this than a normal Doctor Who story. It was Peter Grimwade, the director. I think he thought he was making a film. But anyway, go on, Eddie. Go on, boy. Go on.
I like this one. I really like this one. going back and watching it, right, I am not the biggest Adric fan, but the Fifth Doctor comes off much worse than Adric in this. So again, going back to Adric's a teenager, Fifth Doctor is just, let the boy run the calculations. Let him, he's either going to be right or wrong. What harm's it going to do? Just let him go on with it. And just sometimes with a kid, sometimes you've got to pander to let them either learn or make mistakes. But it comes across as that he's actually threatened by Adric's intelligence, and that's the way it came over to me. In terms of, if Adric's right, he doesn't want to be wrong.
So that totally sets the whole mentorship thing on its ear with them.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, like we said last week, the Fourth Doctor and Adric work really well together. But the 2 or 3 times they try it in the Davison era, it's just awkward.
He's a teenager. Adric feels undermined, either rightly or wrongly. But you know what? It could have been handled so much more betterly by the Fifth Doctor, who's so much older and supposedly wiser. The other thing I quite like about this is the Cybermen in this, because there is a genuine menace with these Cybermen. They're cold, they're ruthless, they're intelligent. And this kind of Cyberman costume is one of my favourites, because even with the Cyber leader, you can see the face just slightly underneath, and you can see the mouth working.
See what remains of.
Yeah, there's an element of a human being underneath that. It's not just the brain in there. I like that. I love this iteration of the Cyberman. And Beryl Reid, come on, Beryl Reid was a national treasure, totally acting out of type. She normally plays the ditzy granny or the kind of amorous auntie. This was just her totally working against type, and she was great.
Yep, totally agree.
She comes off tough, butch. I mean, it's so great.
I will fight anybody who doesn't like Beryl Reid's casting in this.
Brian,
Rightly so.
I'm fine. No mas.
And I will give fair play to Matthew Waterhouse, right? So this was his last. Well, let's not go to the next episode. It's his last official episode, and I think he gives a great performance. It's a confidence performance, considering that this was one of his first acting gigs, wasn't it? And it was.
Yeah, I think he'd done To Serve Them All My Days, and then it was this. I think.
So think he comes across as more confident, assured. It's a noble exit, right? I always, my benchmark for exits from Doctor Who is bottom of the rung, 10th Doctor. This is up there. He's trying his best to actually. He thinks the Earth's in jeopardy, and he's trying to actually work this out. There's an element. It's a mathematical problem that he can't let go. Plus, there's an element of also trying to save Earth. So I think it's a noble exit, and just even the way that it closes with, it just shows you. When I watched this originally, it was because it clashed with soap operas or whatever on the other side. I watched it on a black and white TV in my bedroom, and I remember thinking, how is Adric's star floating in space? But it isn't. You can actually see in proper. It's on the floor of the TARDIS, and it's just no music, cold entrance, and I thought it was incredibly powerful then, and it's still incredibly powerful.
Nicked from Coronation Street.
You're kidding.
I'm not. He and he's admitted it, and what the hell? You can't sort of claim sole ownership of something like that in telly. Well,
influenced by another television show, but still powerfully placed. And again, a really clever twist in the whole thing around this is what sets up the demise of the dinosaurs. I thought it was a great episode. I think the only negative thing in this episode is, and it's no reflection in Peter Davison, the way the Doctor was written on it. That element could have been handled a little bit better. But great episode.
I would love to have seen what it would have been like if it was if Tom Baker stayed.
Tom Baker, yeah.
Oh, yeah. To watch Tom Baker emote about Adric dying. Oh, that would have been.
Well, to be fair, they didn't exactly dwell on it. Have we done Time Flight yet?
Yeah,
they have. Yeah.
Bollocks. You remember far better than I.
That was one of that's mental scars. That was Brian mental punishment.
The painful ones are the ones we remember the most.
Well, in that case, I reckon next week we should do Arc of Infinity.
Wow.
Arc of Infinity. I'm gonna have to write this one down
Arc of Infinity.
because I can't keep asking what one are we supposed to be doing
Every week.
every week.
Oh dear. Earthshock, because it was such a success, and it was a blast of fresh air. Series 19 is a good series. Yes, it's got time flight in it, but there we go. But Eric Sayward took that and used it as a template for a lot of other stories during his time as script editor. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. So Eric Sayward does not understand Doctor Who. He understands action adventure. He doesn't understand Doctor Who. I mean, if you look at it, Kaiser Androzani, that's another hard one. Resurrection of the Daleks, that's another tough one. Where I think only Lytton survives. And you can keep going through Attack of the Cybermen. You know?
Yeah.
It worked well once. It shouldn't have been used as a template. Because it took Doctor Who away from what it should be. It shouldn't have that higher body count. You know? It was, like I say, it was okay in Earthshock. It was a new thing, it was a new style of trying to do something, and it really, really worked. But then to keep repeating it with varying degrees of success, yes, right at the top you got Kaiser Androzani, but then you got Attack of the Cybermen at the bottom of it, you know? It's
It just gets a bit depressing after a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a case of Doctor Who's now grown up because it's dark and gritty.
I mean, because even Resurrection before Caves was it almost acknowledged it in universe with Tegan being like, it's not fun anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost a meta commentary on the show.
I mean, I absolutely adore Revelation of the Daleks.
Same.
But it's of a different style to Earthshock. This is a dark comedy. Whereas Earthshock likes action adventure.
But yeah, Revelation's almost satirical in a way.
It is. I mean,
Is that the one with
what
Alexis
the hell is it called? The Lovers?
Singh?
I think that's the book it's been nicked from.
Is that the one? Is that the one in Intergalactic Morgue or Mortuary?
I think it's Greek Morgue. Yeah. Oh, sorry, are you talking about the Doctor Who one?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, Earthshock deserves all its plaudits. Sayward, unfortunately, deserves to be wrapped on the knuckles for deciding, well, this must be the way forward. But we still love Earthshock.
Do you think if they avoided that trope, the show would have lasted longer?
It did give the higher-ups at the BBC a stick to whip them with. For example...
Mary Whitehouse.
Yeah, when they came back, they had been told straight out after Series 22, cut out the violence. And so we ended up with Trial of a Time Lord, which was almost neutered up to a point.
I don't mind Trial of the Time Lord, though. I thought that was...
No,
I kinda liked
it's all
that
right.
one.
It has its moments. I'm not a great fan of early to mid-80s Who. Series 18, Series 19, yep, fine, not a problem. Series 20, I really don't have much time for it at all. 21 has a couple of corkers in it. Again, Series 22, Revelation. And then we get the Trial of a Time Lord, which is... It's what the public thought Doctor Who was like.
Yeah, it didn't help the reputation.
So...
Again, they had the Descent of
Am I being
Spectres,
exceptionally gloomy this evening?
Trump's out. Trump's
Yeah, like
out.
I say, I guess it's not sunk
Biden.
in yet. It's not sunk in. I think the worst part of it was the days leading up to the last 2 or 3 days leading up to the election day itself. I just go, I need this to be over. Please, I need this to be over.
just been an exhausting week.
And then
Imagine how I felt every time on YouTube it was a political ad.
Oh,
Everywhere on YouTube.
oh, ow, eat, no, git face. Come on, man.
Attacking the cats.
Come on, Chestnut.
They're hungry. They sense weakness. They want meat.
It's
Oh,
this
no.
little bugger.
They are awake.
Hello.
Lovely.
He's doing. Like I say, it's ridiculous now, and I'm on the couch. I'm under mounds of cats with a dog. Well, the dog's been very jittery because of the fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't get me started. Why can't they sell silent fireworks?
Why don't they stop selling them full stop? They're
Yeah,
just-
I agree.
Oh no, I agree with that, but I think as a compromise, you can still have your firework display, except you're not going to have all the loud bangs. You still get all the beauty of the lights and everything. You know, it's a compromise, isn't it?
It's a fair It's a fair cop.
Anyway, I don't know why I've gone all gloomy tonight. I'm not intending.
Don't worry, we'll get that sorted out.
But
It'll be
yeah,
fine.
so thumbs up for Shock.
Yes, and a fitting farewell for Adric and a noble exit.
Fair enough then. Now we spoiled that for everyone.
It's 30 years old. There's no spoiling.
No, they're already rotten by then. No, sorry. Yes, so we didn't do Listening to the Big Finish.
That's because we're saving it up for next week.
Yes.
A bumper issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I may have forgotten.
It'll be a
actually.
very special episode of Flashing Blade.
What,
You went
if
all
I
Presley there,
actually
Siobhan.
finally remember. Oh, actually, I have finally remembered. Oh, I did it earlier. The link's there. Okay, that's good.
Saving it for our 50th.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's going up.
I don't know what to do because it involves effort.
Maybe we should have an after-school special.
What's that?
Oh, that's right. You guys don't get them. After-school specials used to be, well, obviously after school, and it would illustrate, you know, like the hazards of teen drug abuse or teen drinking and underage drinking, and you know, after-school specials, meaning don't do this. I think
A very
even-
special episode.
Your
Yes,
foot will fall
exactly.
off.
I think even Mazes and Monsters was an after-school special at one point in time. I'm not sure.
Wow. Mind you, we had stuff that, well, there's a Twitter account, Scarred for Life,
Oh, I love that account.
because we used to have public information.
Public service announcement.
Public
PSAs.
informations.
Oh yeah,
public
Well,
information
You guys had
films.
threads.
Yeah, trust me.
Oh my god, all the adverts. I love that sort of stuff. I watch that in my downtime for fun.
It's a case of, oh God, I can't do anything in case I die.
I still
Oh,
can't walk
yeah.
through it past the power
Yes.
station. I really can't.
What, with a frisbee?
With Frisbee. No,
Frisbee.
can't do it. Can't do it.
I don't play on farmyards
Fire
nowadays.
safety.
And
I
then, of
didn't learn to
course,
swim until I was 13 because of them public service thingies. That's
that was the spirit of dark and cold.
I
fuck
still put
that
that
up.
in
I am the spirit of dark and lonely water.
God.
Good old, that
was
that
Donald
was
Pleasant, wasn't it?
yeah, that terrified me as a kid.
I've still got this one in my head where this girl, well, I mean, there was this one, all these children, they got killed in increasingly grotesque accidents. And then this girl,
Called
who
Final
drunk bleach-
Destination, love.
only in Britain and in the 70s. But yeah, there's this girl who was like a drunken bleach or something, and she was screaming at night, and then voiceover was like, she died. I'm just like,
Why did nobody show this to Trump?
yes.
Right.
Oh God. Don't use that as your disinfectant.
New
won't
Sillet bang! Bang, and the COVID's gone.
We're gonna put some light in our bodies.
Oh my lord. It's about as effective as a kitchen gun.
I know where you got that from. Oh, yes, indeed. Sold, I believe, by Butterfield Kitchen Ornaments.
Oh, Butterfield.
We've lost them
What is-
now.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Just nod, Brian. Just nod.
I think that's appropriate. Just nod.
Here.
Just look for the
Oh,
Peter
yes.
Serafinowicz show.
Yeah. Introduce yourself to the Butterfield diet. You'll never feel better.
Oh, the Butterfield diet. Oh, dear. Pizza discs.
Mystery meat. Bonbons.
Bonbons. Yes. Dear me.
I'll just stick to the tick. That's where Peter Serafinowicz comes into his own. I'll stick to the tick. The tick.
Oh, man. The Tomorrow People. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just finished watching that before coming to this. And, do you know, I'm not entirely certain I remember seeing this before.
Really?
It wasn't
It
what I
wasn't
thought
in
it was
heavy
gonna be.
rotation. I think it
Well, we
was
didn't
like
have-
once or twice.
Excuse me. And I rather enjoyed it, though I do have certain questions. Basically, they've discovered that there's this cult called the Doomsday Men who are dedicated to war. And so there's a big peace conference coming up, so the Tomorrow People decide to try and track down the Doomsday Men and stop them from doing something silly. Which means we get lots more young boys in shorts and in kilts in this particular
And
instance.
kilt, devils and skirts.
Right, and yeah, I have a couple of questions about morality with this one, but let's pass over to Dominic.
Ugh, this one. I had to actually write notes on this one because I was just struggling. So yeah, I will say, it had. I was thinking it was going to be a very mundane opening, but then with the parking ticket, but then the van disappears in front of the bloke's eyes, and I thought that was a glorious bit of television. Such confusion, but I have to say I did struggle with this one. I don't know if it's like just because I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't get into it at all. The pacing just felt so sluggish, and I don't think I'm just in tune with it at all. I mean, the first episode with the school, but it wasn't really a school. It just felt like a Grange Hill sort of thing, and through the even though it tried to be a little bit more fantasy-esque, although I did enjoy the performance of what was it, McClane?
Or the school bully.
Yeah, school bully. He was Cam. Like, no school bully in reality is like this.
I'm sorry, I'm where Eddie is at the moment.
Oh, he was very effective with that truncheon of his.
Yeah. It's a
Well, very
ripping
much
yarn.
so. Oh God, what would you call him? It called him something like plebs or something like that. And I was just like, ugh. It was kind of slightly enjoyable, but yeah, I did struggle. It was just like I ended up just drifting half the time. I think it was because the way the ensemble was structured. Like I can easily sit through like a 6-part Pertwee episode story and just be glued to Pertwee. That's fine, but there was no charismatic lead for this, and I did not like that.
Sorry, I've just I've got visions of watching the mutants with you glued to Pertwee's back.
Literally glued?
Yeah, well, you said you were glued to him. I'm now imagining that.
Worst people to be glued against. Third Doctor's a good one to be glued to.
Well, to be
He's a
fair,
bit pointy, isn't he?
Yeah, but you'd feel safe. You know, nobody's going to mess with you when you're in John Pertwee's
Yeah,
back.
no, yeah, but you're at the back end. Yeah, he's busy going high at the front end.
it was just-
You're the
depends
soft
how
If I'm
low
glued to
underbelly.
someone, I'm going to be glued to 13. I'm sorry.
you
Prevert.
hurt. But yeah,
Hey,
well,
I'm just.
Oh, if I'm going to be glued to anybody since we're on that thread, I'd go for 6 because that curly hair, that'd be
There
could
you
be-
go.
Or number or 4. That curly hair, it'd be, you could
Oh,
hurry into
yeah.
that and-
to be honest,
Plus,
if I
it's
had
a nice
choice,
pillow. You could lay down.
What about Capaldi from Twice Upon a Time? I mean, that was
Oh,
serious
that-
floofage.
Oh, right.
Nice
Oh,
floofage.
that was floof.
that was not good. Although if I get glued to Tom Baker, I could probably fuse with him and no one would know.
A new body at
Hive mind.
Yes. Oh, that was another thing as well. The character of Lee Wan, I believe. played
It's
by-
Radox the Green, who's actually green!
Hello.
Sorry, Dominic.
Okay.
Irregulars just walked in. We're sorry to hear you haven't been too well.
Oh, get well soon,
Oh.
Redux.
Yes.
Yeah, Rachel.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I want to remember English.
We're talking about the Tomorrow People at the moment, the Doomsday Men. Sorry, Dominic, please. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. I was just gonna say, Lee won. I mean, I laughed at how so typical of the 70s. Went straight in with the racial stereotype, being like, my ancestors thought that suicide was a good way or whatever, and I was just like,
Do you know what, though? Fair play to them to actually cast an Asian person in
Yes.
the role.
exactly.
Yes.
That I had to give credit for.
They
because
didn't
that-
whitewash it at all.
Yeah, well, when I first, because I was just like, okay, is there actually, or are they doing Talons here? No, I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, it's frustrating because I wanted to get into it, and I think I still think the concept is good, is brilliant, is a brilliant concept, but the execution just didn't land for me personally. But that's just me. But I respect the attempt that was made.
Well, that's damn fine of you. It's of its time. There's no two ways about it. But you got to remember, we watch one episode a week, and
Yeah, not
Yeah.
marathoning it.
and back then we expected less.
Yeah, true.
You know,
Of course.
plus we were children. We didn't have that well
Well, no,
built
yeah,
critical
you wouldn't-
faculties.
No. I mean, very much a kid's show, and it's going to
Oh,
be.
goodness, yes.
And on that level, I think it works for intrigue and spaced over like 4 weeks. And no one's going to get bored of it per se. If you try to marathon it like I did, I would be drifting by the end of part 2. But yeah. Oh, and that sword fight, I have to say, was could have been.
Yeah.
All I could picture in my mind was just like, no, Dom, do not compare this with Star Wars, you idiot. Compare this with Doctor Who. And then I instantly went to the Delgado versus Pertwee fight. I was just, no,
Well, yes, you would.
it's just.
At least you didn't go to, the
All
10
over a sandwich.
Yeah. Where did you learn to fight like that? I only disarmed them.
On the playing fields of Pridonia.
Oh, bless his soul.
Well, it's easy when you have powers. I
Yeah,
didn't need
yeah.
to use my powers. I'm a fencing champ. A
You're right there. You okay there, Brian?
little bit.
Oh.
Fencing champ wasn't using any fencing when he was in the gladiator games.
Actually, I did see.
Fair point.
I did think he did quite well compared
Oh,
to
he
others.
did excellent. Way better than
No.
Peter.
Yeah,
Mm.
Peter's of Worcester.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, moving on, we'll talk to Eddie now.
Well, for one thing, you've got to admire the ambition and enthusiasm for this in this episode, right? They chuck everything at it, but it does come across as 2001: A Shit Odyssey. I mean, the space station with the car hubcap that's spinning round. I mean, it's like
Wobbling.
if sci-fi sponsored by Halfords. I mean,
in foil.
it's. But like I said, you've got to admire its ambition and enthusiasm. There's elements of its time in terms of how do you deal with bullies? And then we get John and Tim both saying, suck it up. It's character building. No, it's not. It scars people for life and you're going to have to cope with it and you'll take that through the rest of your life. But no, suck it up. It's character building. You've got to admire the cheek. Did you notice the Doctor Who reference in it? When
Yes.
they're in space and they're talking about the space garbage and watching out for a blue box. Cheeky.
Interesting that even
Mhm.
back then, but a kid show is raising concerns about the amount of space shit that we've got up there. All it's going to take is one collision, and we're not going to be able to leave the planet for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
But I thought the cheek with the Doctor Who kind of blue box reference. Traffic wardens are people too.
Now
So
this
the
is what I
guy's only
wanted
trying
to
do his
raise.
job.
Mhm.
So the systematic abuse and mental breakdown that's put on about that, I
They
felt really
destroy
sorry for
his
that.
life. They get
Yes.
rid of he doesn't have a job, and then
Destroy
they destroy
his
his
career.
sanity.
And the man attempts suicide at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, only in the 70s. Only in the 70s.
Just bleak, quite frankly, bleak.
There are some disturbing elements, like the fixation in terms of what young boys wear under their kilts, and my God,
Yeah.
my God,
Mm.
shorts were short in the 70s, but I don't remember them being that short for cross-country running.
It was just like, I didn't realise Jimmy Savile had a bit for the ITV as well.
Oh, isn't it small boys, jumpers for Gold Coast, yew tree.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
Again, it's for self Dominic, it's a nostalgia thing, right? So I remember watching this tea times 5 o'clocks, and it was Elizabeth still the conscience of the Tomorrow People, absolutely great. Stephen, you're talking about, he's the heart and soul of the Tomorrow People. He's the one that's always in danger. Although John does a bit of it in this one, but he's the one that's always there. He's the hero. And then you've got John and Tim, who have just decided are the horse's ass of the Tomorrow People. They basically torture poor Stephen in this, and it was like, oh, having a dinner. Oh no, you can't finish that. Go back and eat your porridge. So, and Chris is there.
Yeah,
still
he was there. Yeah,
he
was there. He was driving the van.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
he was.
Again, love it. Obviously, the creator of Price has looked at 2001 and the.
We can do that at Thames.
Yeah. If Kubrick had a budget of £4.75, probably 2001 would have looked like that.
I think you're giving them too much of a budget.
Just a little bit.
What do you think of the morality of basically brainwashing 2 kids?
Yeah. And again, that's very Clockwork Orange in terms of we were going to make them see the full horror of war and make them experience it, and all the gory bits. And it was like, that's just not right at all. I mean, it just feels wrong. And then it's the whole thing around, I don't know, it's a mix of humour and some disturbing morality, but it's part of my childhood.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love it in its own context, and I enjoyed watching it this afternoon, especially as I couldn't remember seeing it the first time round. So, but it does bring into question a couple of things, to be fair.
Oh, definitely.
What's next week's one, Brian?
Next week's is, drum roll, Secret Weapon.
Did you like this one, Brian?
Doomsday Men? It wasn't bad. It was more of a filler episode for me.
Is this one with Trisha?
Secret Weapon, yes.
And Colonel Masters.
And the Colonel. And it has, what's his name? The gypsy kid.
Tyso.
Tyso, yeah.
Yep. Well, I think we're starting series 3.
Yes, series 3.
Series 3 does have a little bit of a unobtrusive arc running through it.
Oh, dear God. I forgot in series 3, we also get a Man for Emily.
Can we skip that one?
No.
Oh, no.
No. Completist.
Hang on. I'm the one supposed to be dishing out the horrible stuff. Not you 3.
Revenge.
Shit. That went wrong. This is mutiny. You understand that, don't you?
You brought this on yourself.
That's true. Yeah. I can blame no one else. Right, so that's the Tomorrow People. We enjoyed it, sort of, possibly. It's problematic, but yeah. Right, so Life on Mars. Sam Tyler begins his patrol in Trumptonshire and
that was so good.
Bumps into the nonce. And it's the one with the Cambric Green opening, which I've been aching for Brian to see, but trying to get him to see the stuff I've posted to give him context for it.
I saw it.
Good.
Eventually. I saw it.
Before or after?
I was at Works, and you posted it after I'd already watched it.
That's a shame. Because Cambric Green, Trumpton and Chigley were these little puppet things, 15-minute things, and every character had a song and waved to people and everything else.
I did like when Sam yelled at Gene, "Stay away from Cambric Green." That was good. I like that.
That's funny. That was funny.
I'll put up with most things, but do you not go near Camberwick Green?
It's basically when Jean's beating up the nonce, and they both stop and wave,
Yeah.
and then Jean just gets a dustbin. Bang, bang, bang. Oh dear. A nonce, by the way, is a kiddie fiddler.
It's terrible how I could have easily imagined that in live action as well.
You shouldn't have done that.
Oh.
Oh, the images. Anyway, there's a man in CID about to kill himself unless they save his wife and daughter. Yeah, they have to go through things because the person they think did it was jailed several years before, and the devil this time round is in the detail. So, who hasn't started? Eddie, you haven't started yet, have you?
Yeah, this is great. It's the Camberwick Green episode, and that just sets off. It's just really funny. Well, again, it's with every episode of Life on Mars. It's dark humor, light humor, and then dark elements. So in this one, it's like you said, the devil's in the detail. So Sam is in current times has been given the wrong meds or too much and is overdosing. So back in 70s UK, he's tripping off his nut, to call it a Glaswegian thing. So he's pretty much incapacitated for a lot of this, but he's in that kind of darkened room, the locker room, and he's still trying to influence and encourage others to actually progress and become better people and better detectives. Ray's a hopeless case. Ray's, I mean, he'll come out more than ashes to ashes, but in this, Ray's just irredeemable. We start to see Annie continue to grow as a detective, as a person. She's becoming more inclined. She's more honest. And I can never remember the other fella's name.
Chris.
Chris is starting to become better as well. He's starting to, again, devil in the detail. He starts to think more, start to see beyond the obvious. So we get to this point where we've got Mr. Lamb, who's came into the police office, and he's threatening to kill himself unless that's a suspect, well, not a suspect, Bathurst, who was found guilty of killing a young girl, is released. And there's lots of twists and turns, and I'm going to jump a bit.
Twists and turns like a twisty-turny thing.
It certainly does. Like a twisty thing.
I mean, right until the very end, where the final shot
So his wife and his daughter are being kidnapped, and the threat is get Bathurst out of jail unless your wife and kid are going to get killed at 4:30. So they've done this before, but again, it's the whole thing. There's lots of twists in this. So Bathurst, because of the drugs, Sam has this new capability where if he touches somebody, he experiences and sees things from their perspective. So we see the arrest of Bathurst from Jean's perspective, and of course he's a cold, calculated killer. He threatened his own grandmother. When they arrested him, he basically confessed and was quite. It was obvious it was him. Then we see the whole thing from Annie's perspective, where again it's been the poor boy's been manipulated.
It had a different flavour to it. This one, a different makeup to it, and that is a huge part of it. Yeah.
So we see the whole thing from Annie's perspective, and by the time we get to the end of this, we also find out that it's the girl who was killed's dad, who's a photographer, has been responsible for kidnapping Lamb's wife and child because he believes that he is the murderer and that Bathurst is genuinely innocent and that the police were not following due diligence or process, which, oh dear, yep, we've seen that before. Jean can be guilty of that. And they've got the wrong person. They get to the end and it looks as though he was wrong. Bathurst is the killer. And because of Annie and Chris kind of following their mentorship and actually listening to Sam and doing everything right, they get they basically track it down to the garden shed for this photographer, the killed daughter's. God, this is all too much. There's loads. The killed daughter's dad is there, and so they eventually save the day. But in the very, very last scene, it's just down to the
One
cloth that was
final
used.
little click.
Yeah, the cloth that was used contained oil, but it was wood preserve, not engine oil. And Lamb, who was his daughter and wife was kidnapped, talked about how he wasn't about when the daughter was killed because he was cleaning wood. It was using wood preserve and cleaning the gymnastic equipment in the school.
But they didn't check. The police didn't check what sort of engine oil it was. Sorry, so what sort of oil?
Who's
it was.
responsible for that? Ray, who's just totally irredeemable. So again, Devil wasn't in the detail. They never checked what the oil was. So it finishes with, obviously, Bathurst is going to get released, and they go over and question, Mr. Lamb, can we talk to you for a minute? Tons of stuff in this, a lot to digest, but for fitting that all into an hour is fantastic writing.
I agree.
Brilliantly done. Kept you on the edge of your seat right to the very last minute, and it uses every single minute to get to its conclusion. I thought it was brilliant. It's one of my favourite Life on Mars. Across Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, I think for me this is the pinnacle. It's just so well done.
Cool. Dominic.
Eddie said everything that I wanted to say, and
All right, then Brian.
Hang on a second. I'm not finished.
Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say that it was really that final twist that really stuck with me with this episode. I love sudden twist endings like that. They just like, but this one was just perfect because he even foreshadowed it as well because the guy was confessing and no one was taking him seriously. No one, because they thought he was just going mad. But when you look at it through the perspective that he was actually telling the bloody truth, it's so chilling. Like he literally did kill her, and it's just And at the very end shot as well, when he's looking at the schoolgirl going past it, like,
it's a nonce.
And it's just like, it's very satisfying, but at the same time, extraordinarily creepy.
All right, here we go then. Ah, dear. I did watch him nodding along to some of the stuff you were saying, so you never know. We live in hope. Brian!
Oh, God. Hi.
Tell me you didn't utterly dislike this episode.
I did not utterly dislike this episode.
Oh, boy.
I'll take it. That's a win.
Take it.
You
Don't continue.
Take that as a win. I did like you got, again, solid police work from Annie.
Yep.
She's turning out to be like one of the best characters in the show.
She'll be in the Gentle Touch soon.
Chris is coming along. Ray is an afterthought.
Yeah.
The part at the beginning where Gene is beating the guy up and then waves. I love that. That was
I'm
hilarious.
so pleased you enjoyed
lie.
that. I thank
That
you. You
was
may not
funny.
have got it, but it translated. Oh, I'm happy.
That was funny as all hell.
There was an
That's
element
made
of
my
cultural
evening, that has.
misappropriation in there, Brian. Was Brian Cant not available? Could you not have got Brian? That would have been just perfect.
I don't know if he was alive. I can't remember.
Don't say that.
Don't get
let me
mixed up
see.
with the headphone wires. Oh. Yes, all right. That's my hand. There we go.
You don't need that hand. You have another.
You made my evening by saying that. Anyway, carry on.
The whole idea that they already interviewed the murdered girl's parents, and they're like, well, what about this and this? Then they're going back over all their police work, and they did a shitty job on the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it comes down to interviews, and you have to interview everyone, and they all have a different perspective.
And it's the fact he has to interview the members of CID, including Gene.
Yeah. And Gene's, I was right. No, but he confessed. I was right. No, you weren't, Gene.
You won't
So-
get him to ever admit he's wrong.
No, no.
No.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you figure out, oh, it's the father. Actually, no, you don't figure it out. Annie figures it out. She gets the letter from the mother, and she goes to see the mother and pieces it all together that her husband wrote the letter and the mother just signed it. Well, where's your husband now? He's out in the shed. He has a dark room out there. Goes out to the shed. Walks in, does a little snooping. Oh, hey, there's the kidnapped people. Gets taken hostage because, it's her lot in life. It is. Annie gets taken hostage. You cannot have a show without Annie getting taken hostage at least once.
Hang on, possibly the next one.
Maybe.
Possibly. We got to introduce you to Tufty, the safety squirrel.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no, come on, Brian. Tufty was a big part of my childhood as well. I learnt a lot for that rabbit. How to
Is
get
it
an ice
anything
cream
like
in the
McGruff the crime dog who takes a bite out of crime?
No,
that's
these were
off.
where we took that back on public information films,
Yeah.
public safety films, and it's basically Tufty. In fact, there was the Tufty Club, wasn't there? You could join a
Yeah.
club,
Yeah.
and it's basically
Same thing
it
over here,
taught
only
you-
we had McGruff.
It taught you how to cross the road, basically.
Yeah.
How to buy an ice lolly without getting killed.
Strangers and
Yeah.
stranger danger and all
Yeah,
that
that
stuff.
sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh
we
no,
had the same
Charlie.
thing.
Charlie was. He was the stranger danger thing.
Mm. We had a dog in a trench coat with a hat.
We had Charlie,
Yeah.
who ate fish in a very disturbing manner.
At some point in time, I need to get you guys a thumbnail of McGruff the crime dog.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I say, I mean, they knew what they were doing with this show, with all the Touchstone references.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I say, you'll have Tufty the squirrel next week. Well, you won't have Tufty himself, let's put it that way, and it's a lot swearier than the ordinary Tufty was. You'll be pleased to know it's the penultimate episode next week, Brian.
Oh good.
Did you enjoy this one, though, at all? More so than normal?
It
or...
wasn't bad.
Eddie, hit him,
Eh.
please. Just hit him. I'm running out of patience with this yank. Oh, dear. Oh, this is good. I've just realised this means I can watch the next one now.
Hooray!
Indeed, huzzah.
You haven't asked the question though.
Is he mad? Back in time? Or in a coma? Or don't you care?
He's still in a coma, but he's back in time, like in Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve.
He didn't say he didn't care, Siobhan. So that
didn't.
means there's an element of some caring there.
I don't know
Take
what
the
that
small
noise was.
victories where you can.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I say.
We're very close, Brian, to the Keeley Haw years. You'll be fine. Just you've only got a couple to go. Then we're on to Keeley Haws.
Deep
Pre-hurt.
breaths. Deep breaths.
Some very, very good music as well.
Oh yes.
No two ways about that. In fact, Vienna gets brought out twice for carefully staged artistic moments. That's my bloody leg!
Speaking of carefully staged artistic
artistic.
moments,
That's
in the
her
arse.
leg.
that's her leg. It's now trending on Twitter.
Can't remember. I think Shadapa Your Face comes in a couple of times, Brian, but I could be wrong.
Oh, you are asking for trouble, aren't you?
Oh,
I
got it
saw
this-
the wag of those eyebrows.
Haven't got it yet this week.
But you haven't earned it.
Oh, okay.
You said absolutely nothing that I would could
I
possibly
could have
use that
said,
for.
what's the matter, you, Siobhan? Does that get me?
No,
Oh, you are in a good
see?
mood this week.
it's not that. It's just I've got nothing appropriate to put up.
I was gonna say, you're not supposed to actively try. To
I
get
mean,
it.
I'm sitting here trying to
Hey,
basically
hey.
get a file
We
of
have our own
various
little things.
unworthy photos, depending what
Ultra-
topic he's talking about.
Ultravox featured a few times in Ashes to Ashes, but it means nothing to me.
Well, I've heard that joke far too many
Ah!
times.
I know.
I just got
Sidious
that,
uses
I
it all the
just got
time. Sidious.
Gosh.
Bit delayed, but I got it.
That's, I know Steve Strange turns up singing Fade to Grey badly.
That's a great song as well. And Ure was involved in that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Curry,
Fade to Grey.
and I think Warren Can. I could be wrong.
Yep.
Actually, I probably am
Awesome.
wrong
Great
about
music in Ashes to Ashes.
that. No,
Great
there's
music.
some, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been some good ones in Life on Mars. Plus,
It's-
if it's got Bowie, I'm happy anyway.
And it was Roxy Music this week, wasn't it? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
they were gonna
Oh,
go to the
yeah, that's
concert.
the other thing. Annie and Sam finally went out on a date.
about bloody time.
About goddamn time. Those two
Anyway.
need to stop dancing around.
Next week, things are going to turn upside down. So
Why is Annie mad at Sam this week?
yeah, three of us enjoyed it.
One
The other one is
tolerated.
American, from the America.
Oh,
To be fair, I had other things on my mind this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
that's fair. But
valid.
then again, so did we.
To be fair,
Entire
everyone in
world.
the world was watching this.
Admittedly, there's the whole thing of we aren't exactly in rifle range over here. But
Oh, don't worry. ICBMs go everywhere.
that was a very Dr. Sinister line. Energy, boys. Energy. Come on. Energy. There we go. That's better. So, next week, Arc of Infinity, because I'm a bitch. The War Master. And... what did you say it was called, Brian?
Secret Weapon.
Secret
Secret
Weapon.
weapon.
And the penultimate episode of Life on Mars. So, got a lot there. I have a sneaky
Yay,
suspicion
can't
I won't be
wait
able
for
to hear
Life
the...
on Mars.
Sorry, my love?
I can't wait for more Life on Mars. The penultimate episode, too.
oh, goodness. The sarcasm's just dripping, isn't it?
No, not really. He's American. They don't quite
It's kind
get
of hard
it.
to tell these days.
You see, because at the same time, it is great it's the penultimate episode because it means it's going to finish.
It's going to end soon.
Just another 3 series.
Hey.
Bugger.
I keep forgetting there was more than 2 series of Ashes to Ashes.
Yep. And then, of course, at some stage, we'll have the new series, or whatever it's going to be
Lazarus, yeah.
called. Is it actually called Lazarus?
I thought it was going to be called Lazarus. I mean, it makes sense. David Bowie's.
You guys should watch Intruders. Another John
Okay.
Sims.
You keep
Sure.
saying this every week.
I didn't say it last week.
You sure?
I'm positive.
no
You
way
can
of
watch
telling.
the replay.
We've no way of telling because last week's show's been kicked off YouTube.
It's on Twitch here. You can
And
watch
will be for a little
watch
while.
through it. I did not mention it last week.
It's,
It's a Canadian show. It'll be fine. It's okay.
right then, that's it, I think. If I'm honest with you, what do you reckon?
Yeah, that was we've done everything.
Good.
Right,
Yeah,
let's
we
sing
did it,
Yub
huh?
Nub.
Yum 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 yum.
We're crap, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't
am in
speak
no way
Ewok.
an Ewok.
I don't speak Ewok. Some would say I don't speak English. So
Right,
I did not mean to, but I duct taped an Ewok to your hull and sawed his little head off.
Say goodbye, gentlefolk.
goodbye, gentle folk.
Goodbye, gentle folk.
Every week, I walk into it every week. I mean, it's just...
Goodbye, chat room.
Oh yes, I forgot about Paul Willie.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.